Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, our goal is to drive motivation by closing the door on the comfort zone, by fostering inspiration, by exploring what's possible, and by creating transformation by challenging those unproductive mindsets. And while you're here, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. All right. Have you ever thought of being a poet? What does it take? Where does your inspiration come from? Do you publish or do you keep it to yourself? Do you stand on a grand stage or do you just share it with your family? Well, today we're going to meet not only a poet, but an amazing woman that you're going to really enjoy, because I know I do. Everybody, please say hello to Traci Neal. Hi, Traci.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, girl, thank you so much for being here. There's so much to talk about with you, and I hope we get it all in. But before we get started, Traci, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
Yes, a little bit about me is I come from humble beginnings. I used to be a pre-K aide, a pre-kindergarten assistant 4 years ago before I got into poetry, and I am residing in Columbia, South Carolina.
Which is very nice. I love Columbia. I have some friends that live down there, and I have a great time every time I'm down there to visit. Thanks so much for being here. We're going to talk a little bit about the poetry because there are a lot of people, we love poetry, but we don't know anything about poetry. We figure like if it rhymes, then it's a poem. But is that necessarily true? Tell us a little bit about where you got started writing your poetry.
I actually got started in middle school. My seventh grade teacher encouraged the class to write a poetry book. So each class period, we had to present a poem. She allowed volunteers, so I would always want to read mine. And mind you, I tell people, after my diagnosis of autism and ADHD, that it's divinely given. Now, mind you, I didn't know this. I just
Yeah.
thought, oh, this is just me. But my poetry was beyond somebody in my age group and my experiences. And, I remember sometimes my teacher would look at me like, did you really write that?
Oh, yeah, I bet. Now, you said something that I know people heard and you skated over it like it was nothing. You were diagnosed with autism
Yes, autism and ADHD.
and ADHD. There's a combination. Now, now, very few people know a whole lot about autism. We're very familiar with ADHD, right? But as autism, we have a stereotype because we don't know anything about it. And then I'm seeing this gorgeous girl sitting in front of me that is a poet who has been seen on Newsweek and various television outlets. And you said, do you have autism? Talk to us a little bit about your autism and how that moved into your poetry. Does it help or does it hinder?
It honestly helps a lot. My autism, it shocks people because they read the poetry or they see me perform and they're like, this is, pretty deep, but I'm not deep. So my mindset is basically like a child. It is very simple and basic. So my idea of a fun day would be you taking me to a toy store and just let me have the whole day.
Wait, that's
and,
me.
and that is why I was always good with children. And
Yeah.
and it's so amazing. You have to see it for yourself, like
Mhm.
especially when a child is still like pure, they'll
Mhm.
look at me and they're like, something's different. But and their smile and our interaction is just so awesome. I'm
Right.
very thankful to God for that. But
Yeah. Because
yes,
it feels
that
like you
that
can
that really
relate.
surprises people.
Oh, it surprised me. I know when we had talked earlier and you told me that, I think I had to stop for a minute. I'm like, wait, what did she just say? So here you are. You are writing poetry. You've been on TV and all the things. One of your first poems, is there such thing as this is the genre of poetry that I write? Do you have something like that? Like I only write about this, or how does your poetry come about?
So honestly, when I was starting out, like I said, when I thought it was me writing the
Mhm.
poems, it was more like self-reflective.
Mm,
But I give glory to God because He allowed it to evolve to where
wow.
the experiences that I
Mhm.
had, I went through a lot of trauma. I use it now to advocate. So the poetry has a message,
Mm-hmm.
to empower people to be
Right.
their best selves. So
Right.
I'm very grateful for that. I'm glad it
Yeah.
didn't happen when I wanted it to happen because it would have been
Oh
about
yeah.
me.
And it would have been a mess, right? I
Yes.
100%. That's all of us. So how did people find you and your poetry? When did you start going public with it?
I actually got started going public with it after a very interesting time in my life. So basically, I had spent 10 years trying to be a certified elementary school teacher,
Wow.
kind of following in my father's footsteps. He's a
Hmm.
retired high school teacher, same
Hmm.
school over 40 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I had big shoes to fill, and
Hmm.
I wanted to make him proud, but it never happened. I was always failing this test to be certified, and
Hmm.
it lasted for 10 years.
Wow.
So finally, after the 10th time that I didn't pass, and I didn't pass by 1 point, mind you,
Oh my goodness.
I actually tried to reach out to them and say, "Can y'all just give me that 1 point so I can, do it?" And they said no. And that's what forced me to be like, okay, I'm gonna do the poetry.
Yeah. So the being able not to get into teaching drove you to doing something else. And in the intro, we talk about our goal here is to drive motivation by closing the door on the comfort zone. Was being a teacher going to be comfortable for you? Was that your comfort zone because your dad was and all the things?
You hit it right on the head.
Wow. And so you got kicked out of the comfort zone, and
Pretty
here you
much
are.
kicked out of the nest. You better
Fly, fly, girl.
learn.
So, can you, I mean, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you remember what one of your first poems was after you got kicked out of the comfort zone?
Yes. And it was actually called, oh, you said out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, well,
No.
no, no, that's okay. One of your poems, because I think people we have a very strange concept of what poetry is and what it sounds like. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, my spoken word poems do rhyme, but the
Hmm.
ones that have been published, they don't.
Okay.
So, and I think it's been interesting with the spoken word that
Hmm.
people accept, the rhyming and spoken word rather than
Right.
the poetry written. It's
That's
just
interesting.
it's times have changed, but yeah.
Yeah, I love that times have changed because I have some friends who are spoken word poets and they are absolutely phenomenal. And their stuff there has a story and it is deep. So when you get up to perform one of your poems, again, hate to put you on the spot, but not really. Can you share a little bit of one of your poems with us right now?
I can.
Yay.
This is called Love. I wrote it in high school. Um, Love is strong, it lasts long, and won't be out to do harm or wrong. Love is simple, sentimental, and should truly be unconditional. Do we really know its meaning, the purpose of its being, or do we ponder on what our natural eyes are seeing? Love comes from above. Yes, true love comes from above. Let it captivate your soul like a fragrant flower and a delicate dove.
And you wrote that in high school. Okay, so okay, if I was writing poetry in high school, it would have been the roses are red, violets are blue. Yeah, it would have been absolutely horrible. Wow, that is so deep. So when you decided, now I'm going to stand up and perform these things, who is your audience? Who do you perform this for?
I honestly perform it more so for those in need. Like my advocacy is for those suffering, those that, may have been forgotten. So that's why I said things have really changed because I guess when I first started, I was trying to make a name for myself. I wanted to be famous,
Yeah.
name and lights and all of that. But honestly, it was not until God showed me that you are a servant. Honestly, most of the jobs that I had were like servant jobs. And
Right.
I hated it. I hated it,
Really?
but God used that time to teach me no, if you want to be effective in this world, you need to serve. It's not
Uh-oh.
about you, it's about you helping other people.
Yeah.
And that has been the most impactful thing with the poetry is that I see where, I can be of assistance, be of
Mhm.
help, because that's what makes a difference in the world, not your name.
Wow.
God can give
Wow.
you a name, he's
Sure.
given me a name, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I changed my mindset that it's not about me. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see who I can help.
Yeah.
And that's what's changed everything.
See, you just spoke another one of our goals at this show. It is to create transformation by challenging those unproductive mindsets. And that it sounds like what it was. You wanted to be famous. And honestly, who didn't? Who didn't want their name in lights to walk down the street like, no, no, no pictures, no, no. We all wanted that at one time. But then when you realize that that is an unproductive mindset and the productivity comes from helping other people, you kind of find your niche, don't you?
I did. And it's been amazing ever since.
I know. Now, how long have you been writing? I know you said you started in high school, but how long have you been doing this professionally?
4 years now.
4 years. Wow. And I mentioned earlier that you were on Newsweek. What are some of the other outlets that you've been featured on?
Oh, goodness. You put me on the spot. That's why people have to go to my website because I don't even try to look at all of the stuff that I've been on because it's too much.
That is okay because we're going to get to the website part as well. That is a good thing. Now, you told me earlier before we started, this is going to be your last podcast appearance.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad it's you.
I'm absolutely honored by that because I know you've done podcasts for years, and I'm so grateful that I found you and that you said yes, and that we're going to be your last appearance. Thank you so much for that. Can you tell us though a little bit why you're done? Why are you giving up podcasts right now?
Um, like I said, because I was willing to, have my mindset change to focus on serving others, it's opened up a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors.
Hmm.
And so I really want to focus, like I said, more on advocacy and helping others. I
Hmm.
started off, to do help nonprofits in need worldwide, and I want to expand that. So I'm trying to, work on partnering with larger networks, businesses, so that
Hmm.
on the side I can do commercials to advocate for, these nonprofits in need and get the word out. So it
Wow.
wasn't just me getting a name, it's to get
Hmm.
a name to help as many people as I can.
Yeah,
So,
that's so good. I think if more people realize that that was the purpose, get your name to help other people, the world would be such a much more interesting and amazingly kind place. So thank you so much. I appreciate what it is you're doing, where you're going. And again, thank you so much for being here with me. Yay!
yes.
So now you got all this stuff. Do you work with other people? Do you help poets write poetry? Do you teach poetry at all? What do you do for people who would want to be a poet like you? What advice would you give them?
Find what fits you. So, like I said, I had my own goals, when I
Hmm.
first started, but God shifted a lot of things. I did not know I was going to be doing so much advocacy and stuff.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm grateful for that. But, find where you fit.
That's
And
good.
I will also say, don't take rejection as like, that's it, that,
Wow.
nothing good can come out of that. And I
Hmm.
give an example for me. I've shared on other podcasts about this, but basically, I've tried to get in the New York Times
Hmm.
3 times. And the
Wow.
first 2 times, I think I really was trying to make it about me.
Hmm.
But the third time, I was like, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to do something to see if I can impact lives.
Yeah.
And that's when I got accepted. And that, like I said, that really shifted. Getting in the New York Times really shifted things, but it also shifted my mindset. If I focus on helping someone,
Hmm.
people help people who help people.
Wow. That whole thing right there, y'all. That is so true. And yeah, and I love how you said, yeah, I was in the New York Times, like I went to Walmart. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, one day when I get grown, whatever. Traci, you are a phenomenal woman, and you're doing so many brilliant things. If I asked you, what is the one thing you hope that you can one day achieve, what would your answer be?
I feel like it's already happened.
Really?
If it makes sense,
It
because
does. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in God's will. Like I'm already making a difference. So
Hmm.
any other, I guess, additional things is a bonus.
Oh, I love it.
Once you live your life to impact lives, that's
Hmm.
no greater feeling. because you wake up and you know that you're touching people. Like, as you mentioned, me being in Newsweek, I didn't know that I would get, emails and messages from people thanking me for sharing my story, that it was a real encouragement. And I actually had, I used to teach Bible study for a while at the church I am a member of. And one of my boys that is now in high school, I still see him as my little boy. So high school is graduating, but I still see him as my little boy.
That's right. There'll always be somebody's baby.
But he was actually doing his homework and my article from Newsweek popped up.
Wow.
And that touched me because I'm like, see, that's what it's all about. But if I had been too afraid, if I had been like, I don't know if I want people to know all about, what's happened in my life. But, sometimes it takes that person being willing to share, and then other people will share. It's a domino effect. That's what it's all about.
That is so true. It's the authenticity. I tell folks all the time, you're not the first one to have gone through it. Sadly, you won't be the last, but you can help someone with your story. Oh my gosh, Traci, that is so good. So Traci, if somebody wanted to find out more about you, reach out to you, where's the best place for them to find you?
Yes, that would be my website, Traci Neal, Traci Neal, Neal, speakerpoet.com.
All right. And what will we find on your website?
Oh, goodness. And that's another thing. And I know it was God. He vamped my website to where I highlight the people that have helped me along and not highlight myself.
Okay.
So it really just shows this sense of servanthood and, the people that have impacted my life and, the journey, like going up the ladder year to year. So it's awesome.
That is so good. I'm excited about that. Don't worry, everybody. If you didn't get her contact information, everything is going to be in the description below. And please share this website on your network, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram as well. Traci, my friend, before I let you go, we have to play a game. Yay! Yay! I know this game is so simple. It's just a way to get to know you better. The game is called What's on Your Mind? I'm going to give you a couple of sentences, and you are just going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind to finish it off. Okay? Are you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
Here we go. My perfect day would be what?
Going to the park and playing with the kids.
Love it. That's so good. I love it. In the morning, when I'm hungry, the first thing I reach for is?
My cereal, my favorite cereal.
What's your favorite cereal?
It's like an almond cereal.
You're a grown-up cereal person. Boo. I still like Fruit Loops. Don't judge me. Okay. When I go shopping, one of my first stores I hit is?
Ross. Dress for Less.
Girl. And all the things. Oh my gosh. When me and my friends hang out, we love to what?
Go out to eat.
You're my girl. Let's eat. I love some food now. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. All right. If I had to do it all over again, I would what?
I wouldn't change a thing.
That's cool. I mean, that's real maturity. You know where you are. It was all necessary.
Because it made me better. So, yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
That is so cool. Traci, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for making us your last podcast. Again, I am truly honored.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was my joy. All right, everybody, that's it for this week, but we'll be back next week with more Faith on Friday Presents.